Franklin County Board of County Commissioners is ninth session. This is the public hearing for the budget. And we're gonna start off with the budget update with Ms. Erin Griffin.
Okay, yes, Commissioners. I'm just going to start off reading a brief synopsis of where we are and then kind of go through where we've been. And then we'll turn it back over to you all for where you can open up for public comment and then also Commissioner comment and discussion. But I'll go ahead and start with where we are. At this meeting, the board must adopt the tentative budget and a tentative millage rate to be advertised according to statutory requirements. It will take 5.7761 mills to fund this budget. The total of the tentative budget is $62,258,521. The tentative millage rate of 5.7761 mills is 1.47% greater than the rollback rate of 5.6926 mills. The millage is 1.47% above the rollback rate due to an increase in the FRS retirement contribution rates as set by the Florida legislature, an increase of 2% in the cost of health insurance, an increase in the transfer to the tax increment districts, increases in several departmental budgets as presented, the final salaries of the elected officials as released from EDR, a $1,200 one-time allocation to all county employees, and a $276,887 reduction in state shared revenues and sales tax proceeds due to the economic effects of COVID-19. The date set for the final virtual budget hearing to adopt the final millage rate and budget for fiscal year 2020-2021 is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020 at 5:15 p.m. at the Franklin County Courthouse Annex, County Commission Meeting Room, 34 Forbes Street, Apalachicola, Florida. And I'm just going to roll right on to where we started and where we have ended up, just to kind of give you all the history. Okay. At the first budget workshop, which was on Thursday, July 30th, the board set a preliminary millage rate for the trim notices at 5.9026, just below the current millage rate of 5.9494 and 3.69% over the rollback rate. The constitutionals and departments that requested increases were as follows. The Clerk of Courts, $12,996, Parks and Recreation, $12,228, and Extension Office, $2,342. Other increases or items that negatively impacted the budget included an increase in the FRS retirement contribution rates as set by the Florida legislature, which increased costs by $44,971, an increase in the transfer to the tax increment districts of $3,327, and $231,232 to fund a $1,200 one-time allocation for all essential government employees. The renewal rates for Capital Health Plan were not available at the time of the budget meeting, and an estimated 10% increase was used for the preliminary budget presentation. Whereas county government does not rely as heavily upon sales tax proceeds as the state budget, we are intertwined with the state economy as far as state shared revenues are concerned, and approximately 17% of the revenues for the general fund come from sales taxes. The state of Florida has a tourism-based economy, and the social distancing and reduction in travel due to pandemic fears reduced the initial state shared sales tax revenue estimates by $453,601. Revenue offsets and reductions to the budget included the following. Other revenues increased by $67,430 in the general fund, an additional $109,677 in FEMA funds carried forward. The transfer to the capital outlay fund was decreased by $84,218. A reduction in the sheriff's budget of $10,756, a reduction in the tax collector's budget of $3,871, and a reduction in the supervisor of elections budget of $9,196. With the recent rate increase on landfill tipping fees, improvements in the housing market, and the ongoing processing of storm-related construction debris, the tipping fee fund was also able to transfer an additional $100,000 to the general fund. On August 3rd, Capital Health Plan released the renewal rates at a 2% increase. This reduction from the estimated 10% increase to a 2% increase reduced the proposed budget by $114,599. On August 14th, the Office of Tax Research held a second revenue estimating conference. Updated revenue estimates were released the following week, and fortunately, the sales tax estimates were revised upwards by $176,714. Although revenue estimates are still down, the effects of the coronavirus pandemic are anticipated to not be as long-lasting or drastic. Although the rate that went out on the trim notices was the 5.9026 mils, at this first public virtual hearing, the BOCC can incorporate the reductions from the finalized rates from CHP and now the improved sales tax revenue estimates from the Office of EDR. This will bring the proposed millage rate down from 5.9026 to 5.7761, from 3.69% over the rollback rate to 1.47 over the rollback rate. And let's see. And I'll now turn the floor back over to Chairman Lockley, whereas he can open up the floor for public comment and questions. Once all public comments, questions, and commission comments have been made and subsequent changes authorized, the commission will vote and then adopt 2 resolutions to authorize the tentative millage rate and total budget.
At this time, next on the agenda will be public comments.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Did you say that we could give a raise for $1,000 across the board cheaper, we can give them $1,200?
Well, let's see, the board, the cost of giving a $1,000 across the board cost of living adjustment is roughly the same as giving a $1,200 one-time allocation. The $1,200 one-time allocation would be only subject to federal withholding and Social Security and Medicare taxes. So the amount that employees would end up in their hand is greater. However, with a $1,000 salary increase, it does elevate their wage base from here on out. So, you know, there's pros and cons to each.
Well, a lot of them's getting ready to retire, and it'll just help their last 5 years to get their retirement up.
Yeah, and a $1,000 cost of living adjustment does equate to about 48 cents per hour for your county employees.
That do make sense.
Do we have any public?
Well, not yet, but so we'll put a chairman to call for it before I officially tell him.
He did. That's
Oh,
why.
you did call for public comment? I apologize, I heard the.
That's why he started.
No, I thought-
he said he had a public comment.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Massey said he had a public comment, so I was waiting until he was through
Okay.
before I officially state. There are no, and if I could now, there's no one in the waiting room, there's no one online in Zoom for public comments.
Okay, is there any more public comment with the commissioners?
And back to your question too, yeah, as far as the $1,000 cost of living adjustment, if you do that, that will not change the millage rate. It will just change your total budget, just because there's a little more transfers in and out between the funds. So that's the only amount that would change, is the total budget figure and not the millage rate. But that's at the discretion of the boards.
So,
That pretty much keep the millage rate where it's at.
It would.
Okay.
so I'll look at you, I'll look at the clerk. You think, you probably need a motion if they're going to say that just for the record, right, Madam Clerk?
Which direction you want to go?
Yeah, which direction? It's
So I'll make a motion to give them a $1,000 raise.
I got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey.
As opposed to a $1,200 one-time allocation.
Yeah, and
Second.
I'll say this, if by chance, I will check with the attorney, if by chance he says that we couldn't make a motion because this is a budget public hearing, then I'll make sure it's on my report that we make it a week from today, okay?
Okay.
But I would rather we do it today, and then if he says no, we do it again. That's
Okay.
safer, I'd rather be safe that way.
And it was seconded by Commissioner Jones. Any more discussion on that?
I just think this is a good investment. Our staff and our employees are the core of this county, and they will make everything run well. I think it's well deserved.
Well, I had a couple of them come to me and say they'd rather do that with the, that it grew up, because they were getting ready to retire. Any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passed unanimous. I guess I got one too. I like, what I need to get something clear on this, on the University of Florida with Sarah. Now he worked for University of Florida and
He does. Yep.
okay, now they gonna, what did it do when we tell them we not gonna give a raise a year, and they come up with a raise, and we tell our other people, I mean, how that go?
Well,
What's
let's
up
see.
with that? Or do he get two raises now?
No, he would not be subject to the raise that was given to the county employees. Now, one thing with Eric, I know the amount that the county has contributed to University of Florida has not changed in quite a few years.
Right.
I believe it's been 732.
I ain't got no problem with that, I just wanna know,
And one thing with him is I believe he's just made tenure for the university system, so that's when he's turned into a permanent employee there.
so,
So that's really been the first time that they've asked us for anything in quite a few years.
but so that's what, I guess that, you answered my question when you say he won't be
Okay.
getting two, cause I
Okay.
was thinking he gonna get
Okay.
the one from them plus
No.
our part we'll have to put with that plus the style. It won't be like that,
No.
right?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, and to follow that, part-time employees, they get half the amount?
Part-time employees will get half, so what they'll
Okay.
get is, basically their hourly rate will change by the same 48 cents per hour, and since they're part-time, it'll equate to about half that
Yeah.
per year.
So
Like the people spraying and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yes, so they work half the time that your full-time employees work, so that's how it looks like it's part-time. They get the same raise per hour, it's just that they work less hours.
Right.
Okay, so to make sure everybody's clear on that, because as commissioners, you're gonna be questioned about that, trust me.
Yeah, and one thing too, the total tentative budget will actually transition from $62,258,521. It would transition to $62,287,079, and that's from some of your employees being in other funds, such as the transfer to the mosquito control fund, road and bridge, and the library funds.
Better we keep the millage rate the same.
The millage rate would remain the same, 5.7761.
But it's going down.
It is going down, yes, sir.
We gotta have a motion on that, don't we?
Well, when you're ready, she'll get to the, you're right, Commissioner, she'll get to the two resolutions.
Yeah.
One, you adopt the millage rate first, and in a separate resolution, you adopt the total, I'm sorry, the tentative
Right.
2020-2021 millage levy, and then the tentative 2020-2021 tentative budget.
So do
Probably
this
said
mean on,
Tentative too much.
is there, I guess, is there any more public comment?
Again, there was no one here for public comment, so just
Oh,
commissioner comments. Yes, sir?
So we'll go, I need a motion to adopt the tentative millage rate and budget.
She has to read it into the records, and then you guys could vote on it.
Okay.
To get your motion seconded.
You
Okay.
go ahead, Ms. Aaron, and read.
Okay. This is a resolution adopting the tentative millage levy. A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida, adopting the tentative millage levy for Franklin County for fiscal year 2020-2021. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida, on September 8th, 2020, adopted fiscal year 2020-2021 tentative millage rate following a virtual public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065. And whereas the gross taxable value for operating purposes not exempt from taxation within Franklin County has been certified by the county property appraiser to the Board of County Commissioners as $2,140,883,122. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida, that the fiscal year 2020-2021 tentatively adopted operating millage rate for Franklin County is 5.7761 mils, which is greater than the rolled back rate of 5.6926 mils by 1.47%. Duly adopted at a virtual public hearing this 8th day of September 2020.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Masters, second by Commissioner Burt. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passed unanimously.
And we do have the second one where we have to adopt the tentative budget. This is a resolution adopting the tentative budget, whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida, has determined the amount of funds required for a tentative budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners has given due notice as required by law and has held a virtual public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida has set forth the appropriations and revenue estimates for the tentative budget for fiscal year 2020-2021 in the amount of $62,287,079. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Franklin County, Florida, that the fiscal year 2020-2021 tentative budget be adopted, and 2, that copies of this resolution containing the tentative budget be spread upon the records of Franklin County, Florida. This resolution duly adopted at a virtual public hearing this 8th day of September 2020.
Pleasure to vote.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Masters, second by Commissioner Burke. Any discussion? I think we done good with this because, especially with this COVID and everything, it was looking crazy there for a while, but
Yeah.
it come out all right.
I think so. Yep. And we still have several weeks to go. We might be able to pare it down more.
Right. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passed unanimous. Commissioner comment. Is there any commissioner comment?
I have one thought. I just want to, relative to this budget we just passed and relative to the information we are hearing today about the CARES Act, I just want to emphasize how important it is for everybody to fill out that 2020 census. Ultimately, down the road, years from now, this is going to make a big impact. And you can already begin to see how some of the funds are managed as a result of the census we did 10 years ago. So I really want to just encourage the public to make sure that you get your census filled out before the deadline, which I believe is September 30th.
It is.
And it, I was talking to the young lady about this, she said we still low.
Yep.
Well, our county, I don't know what to do to try to help it. We tried everything, tried different things, and still coming up short. But people just don't understand. A lot of people you talk to, they don't even know what it is. They don't.
Just ended up being a bad year to switch the census to online thing. I just think more consideration should have been given to the lack of broadband and internet access to rural counties.
Yes, sir.
I just think enough research didn't go into that.
That's right.
But, you know, it is what it is, and we keep trying our best to get it done as best as we possibly can.
Yeah, 'cause I had some people, I say, you sign up for the census, what's that?
Yeah.
Wow. But ain't nothing you can do about it. Gonna miss a lot of funding. Okay, well, any more commissioners comment? Meeting adjourned.